This rapper was killed in cold blood in front of his own mother's home. Here's the tragedy of Soulja Slim. Early life. Soulja Slim, whose real name was James Adaryl Tapp Jr., was born on September 9, 1977, in New Orleans, Louisiana. He grew up in the Magnolia Projects, a housing area heavily populated by low-income residents. Due to poverty and lack of opportunity, Soulja Slim dropped out of high school in the 11th grade and began to sell drugs and develop an addiction to heroin and cocaine. His first recordings would be on Parkway Pumpin', an independent label run by legendary producer KLC. It was there that Soulja Slim released his solo debut album Soulja F.A. Life in 1994. Which sold 90,000 units independently. After that, Soulja Slim released a 4-song EP called Dark Side, which also seemed to do well. When Soulja Slim's career started to take off, he was approached by Master P and No Limit Records. He accepted the offer and moved to New Orleans to sign his new record deal. In 1997, Soulja Slim released his first album on No Limit Records titled Ghetto Fabulous, which featured the singles You Got It and a collaboration with some famous rappers. It was now that Soulja Slim began to run into some legal troubles, as he was arrested and charged with armed robbery. Despite this, he continued to make music, releasing his second album on No Limit Records titled Give It 2M Raw in 1998. The album featured the single From What I Was Told and was a hit with fans. It was now that Soulja Slim really began to hit his stride, and he soon decided he was famous enough to begin his own record. He started the label Cutthroat Comedy Records and released years later, in late 2002. This would be Soulja Slim's last album before his untimely death, however. Death. While Soulja Slim seemed to have everything he could have wanted, fame, money, and respect, he, unfortunately, did not have much of a chance to enjoy them. On November 26, 2003, Soulja Slim was fatally shot 4 times in front of his parents' house in the Gentilly district of New Orleans. The assailant, Garrell Smith, was arrested on December 31, 2003, but he refused to testify, and the case eventually went cold. Smith himself was found murdered on August 13, 2011. Soulja Smith was buried in New Orleans with his cutthroat committee charm and jewelry, and the outfit he wore on the cover of Give It 2M Raw. This was a tragedy to many fans of rap and Soulja Slim himself, who believed a musical talent had been taken from the world too soon. Slim was posthumously inducted into several Hall of Fames with respect to his dedication to music. Aftermath. But why was Soulja Slim murdered, and why did no one ever face justice for his death? To this day, the case remains unsolved, and the family still has not found closure. Many believe Soulja Slim was targeted because of his fame and success, as he received a lot of envy from other rappers in the area. There were also rumors that his death was connected to a gang rivalry, but nothing came of that rumor. Soulja Slim's stepfather himself said that envy of Soulja Slim's swift rise might have motivated the killing. No matter what the reason was, Soulja Slim's death was a tragedy. He had worked hard to reach his goals and become a successful rapper, and he had done so with no criminal record after being released from prison. His music was meant to expose the chaos of ghetto life and encourage change, not to hurt anyone. His death robbed the world of a talented artist, and it's a tragedy the rap world would never forget. Soulja Slim was one of those rappers who still had so much potential at the time of his death, and it shocked the world that he was shot in cold blood in front of his mother's home.